So we've been talking about things to say when someone's lost a loved one. Are there other ways or other things we can say to help?
Yeah, there's a couple things, and we'll talk about one of them now. We talk about being present, and that's important. And I think that's why we do things like, send cards or send, flowers. Why we come and stand in line, in the viewing line, and be there during the funeral. Um, and yet, I think for most of us, that feels just grossly inadequate for really being a help to this person when they're suffering such this tidal wave of feeling. But I would say that those who say that listening is important and coming, I would agree with that. But it's much more meaningful when you look at the perspective from where you're listening. You know, is it in a safe place where I am separated from their suffering, or is it with them? And what I mean is that when people are feeling loss, uh, they feel already separation from the person they've lost, but they're experiencing something that's so different and strange, they feel alone in it. And we have a choice we can make. And I remember this came to me again so clearly at my mother's recent funeral. We were in the reviewing line again, and people were coming through. And for most people, it was very, we're sorry for your loss. We're here, and your mom was a great person, and all of which I appreciated. Because we know when people step into this kind of situation, they're already risking feelings coming up about loss that they've had and death. So we appreciate that. But then someone came up who's a close person to me and a patient that I see, and he took me by the hand and he looked me in the eyes. And I knew he had been very close to his father who he lost, and I could feel the emotion in him.
Mm-hmm.
It was obvious he had chosen to allow himself to come into my space and join me there. And all of a sudden, it was like we're the only two people really here. Everybody else, we're surrounded by people, but everybody else is out there somewhere. And it made the things he was saying and conveying so different. And it made me feel special. It made me feel supported. It made me feel understood. Because often you're going through this tidal wave of feeling, you think, can anybody relate to this? I knew he could relate.
Because he was relating emotionally.
He was doing it right now.
Yeah.
He was choosing to do that. So there's a cost, obviously, with that, and I think that this isn't rocket science. That may be why we don't do it. And yet, I know, and I think you can share this. I mean, how do you feel after you do that with someone? Does it tear you down like people are afraid of? If they allow themselves to feel pain this much, what is it like for you? Because I know you do that with people.
Well, I think I can easily tap into my emotions. I cry at the drop of a hat anyway. But it's easy for me to put myself in someone else's shoes. I don't think everybody's like that. I think a lot of people struggle um, showing their emotion. They might feel like that other it's just going to make that other person feel worse
Mm-hmm.
when
Mm-hmm.
actually I think, like you said, it's a deeper connection, and I think people just want to talk about their loved ones. um, I think they'd rather talk about their loved ones than just hear the same old thing that everybody says.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I do think it's on a deeper level if you can kind of step into their shoes and step into that emotion with them.
And that makes you feel like it's been more meaningful, right? I mean,
Yeah, I walk away feeling better,
yeah.
not feeling inadequate that I just said the same old thing.
And I like what you said earlier is that it doesn't come as easy for some of us, and mainly that's because some of us were raised in ways that we started practicing this early. But it's not that inherently some people can't, as you know, and a lot of times people are afraid of the experience, and it's like anything we fear. What we can assure people of is if you do it and you go through it, I mean, by definition, you're going to feel pain, but the overall feeling you come away with is something that actually lifts you up and makes you feel stronger and better because you know that you've made a choice that has really been meaningful to this person. So
Mhm.
I think that's, to me, the second thing that's most important is that, we can choose to be present, and I mean present intimately with them in their suffering. And if you've been on the other end of that, you know what I'm saying. It does help. It is meaningful.
I agree.